use this decline here as an opportunity. I probably should have done it there. Frustrated today because I woke up late, but I'm glad I closed out of the short position here and opened up a long position. I just would have liked to have been available to open up a long position that wasn't capped off here. But even so, I'm going to use this decline here. Well, I would use this decline here if I was going to trade, but again, it's Mercury retrograde, so really inadvisable. But I would use this decline here to open up a long position. We've got this yellow, translucent yellow correlation here, which is the correlation to the Ace of Cups card from the preview of the prior day. And then this abundance card really makes me think the 8th, we've got this big move pushing the upper end of a range higher. All right, we're probably going to be up here on Monday. Or not. $524 roughly. Trying something new with my screens, but I'm not sure if I like it. It's Mercury retrograde. I might have not have been a good idea to change it because I'm missing things on the chat. Hey Hamza, do I see the solar eclipse affecting overall stock and crypto market? Absolutely, 100%. It's a huge. The moon is like probably the biggest influencer of the stock market, on like a local, like kind of wavelength frequency, or like on a 30-day kind of frequency. It's super impactful. So I mean, as far as what I think it's going to do, I think we have new highs here. This fortune card could be a place to open up a long, if we're still declining here, I would say, because the abundance card indicates a significant high, probably a new high when you combine it with the solar eclipse, this Aeon card at the beginning of the day, that large labradorite ruin's pretty indicative. It looks like we have a high at the end of the day too, even though I don't have it highlighted here. I think there's probably a high there. It'll be like the same high that we have from earlier in the day. But generally speaking, market crashes, they tend to happen within 5 days plus or minus of a solar eclipse, from what I understand. It might not be 5 days, but something around that. And that doesn't mean that every solar eclipse, to be clear, it doesn't mean that every solar eclipse there's a market crash. It just means when there's market crashes, there's usually a solar eclipse somewhere nearby. But I think usually what I see is like people expecting a market crash, and on the day of, you usually get this huge pump to the upside, like this unexpected, like futility type of move where everybody's expecting it to go lower, it goes higher in a ridiculous kind of manner. Which is why I say, if I was going to trade, this would be an opportunity here at the fortune card with this yellow, translucent yellow correlation that's to the Ace of Cups, an opportunity to open up long, close a short. We had that at the beginning of the day. And I'm glad I was prudent. So yesterday I closed out of those puts down here, and I opened up a long position, a long vertical call spread, totally going against my overall advice, but in case we went lower, but we went higher, so that call spread expires in the money on Monday. And it's what is it? Don't put this call spread on now, guys. I tell you about it after the fact, but I'm not trying to have people follow me trading during Mercury retrograde, so especially if you're inexperienced trading, Mercury retrograde's a really bad idea for trading. Anyhow, so I put on this call spread here, these 510, 512s. So it's about $600 when it expires in the money. So as long as we don't go all the way down here on Monday, this should expire in the money and give me a credit of $600, and it will be such a juicy Mercury retrograde type of trade that I finally pulled off, because usually Mercury retrograde, something will go wrong at the right time. You know what I mean? It's magical how it happens. All right, so when do I see the high in theta? Well, real quick. So as far as it goes, we should have a high. I think we probably have a high here on the 8th. And then there should be a sharp drop into a lowest low again. So probably lower than here at this point. Wait, where did the month start? No, probably lower than here. Interesting. Probably on the 10th. Something like that. And then we go back to highs again. So it might be that we're like on this sick decline, so and these highs don't end up being as high, but I'm pretty sure this 8th is going to be a high. We might see it again on the 11th, but I think after that it's a pretty definitive decline into the end of the month there. So it's some pretty crazy whipsaw action, in other words, in the market. Stuff like this. All right, so when do I see the... Oh, hey, it was luck. I'll come back to you in just a minute, Hamza. Personal Q. I have 3 different tax strategies that I can use and wondering which one will provide the safest tax advantage with least government interference, or with least government interference. Singleton, Kelby, and Klein. Oh, it's definitely Kelby. Yeah, definitely Kelby. Singleton would work too, but it's not. I mean, Kelby is where I would go with the star card. Klein, I would definitely avoid. There's going to be. That seems worrisome. Hope that helps, my friend. All right, so Theta. Where's the Theta high for the month? Everybody with early access, the May stuff, obviously we're behind. May stuff is all coming out over the weekend, and then we'll be back up to speed. I apologize for the delay. Sometimes we get caught up, but it'll still come out earlier on early access than it does for everybody else. Always that way. We've got Theta 2025 and Theta 2026, or Theta 2025 and Link 2025 coming out. Come here, buddy. Go over there. There's a place for you to sit. Go. Go over there. You can sit over there, goof. We've got Theta and Link both for 2025 coming out. If you've got total access on our website, then you're gonna get the paid version of those as they come out. A bunch of stuff already came out for that. Basically, if you've got total access, you already have the access to the paid version of every single one of these crypto and ticker symbols, but more coming out. And then we've got some other things coming out next week, but the May stuff needs to come out over the weekend. And then I just want to let everybody know we've got a total eclipse flash sale going on. It ends Wednesday. Technically, like, the eclipse energy should subside by Wednesday is my sense, but we definitely, the channel needs a little support here. We need to raise some funds. Had kind of like a slow month aside from our subscriptions and whatnot. Happens occasionally, but definitely need to get a little influx going. So we put out a pretty significant offer here, and this is for the eclipse. It's gone with the eclipse energy. As the eclipse energy subsides, so does this. But these are the three offers available. Buy a 2025 1 year reading, get a free 2026 for the same ticker. Or this one's super juicy, guys. This brings the price of the 1 year reading down to what it used to be. Buy two 2025 readings, get two free. And then 50% off custom monthlies. You can pick any month between May of this year and December of 2026. All really great ways to support the channel, guys. Hopefully we get a couple of those in today, because that would really help us out. Oh wow, okay. Okay. Interesting. So the trend here, you see how there's kind of like a pivot here, and then there's a pivot here. Interesting. So the high here, I think the high for theta is probably going to be around the 12. Um, we're going to have a high, like a new high for the month, probably here on the 6th, 7th, based on where we are right now. Although, actually, it looks like there's a drop there. There might be a pretty sharp drop here. Um, Actually, no, that's not really correlating there. So, this is an important price level, probably right here that we're highlighting. That's probably what the science card is. I might move this tomorrow. If I'm wrong, I'll move this tomorrow. Not an easy one to nail the actual, like the specific highest high. I probably have several places where I indicated it might be, but I think it's either here on the 6th, 7th ish, or where is that? Let me look at the 1 year real quick. Let's see something. This could be the high right here actually based on the 1 year. For now anyways. Let's take a look. What the hell? I'm gonna stay a little after today, guys. So don't worry. If you if you're worried, I'm not gonna get to you. I'm gonna stay a little longer today. Guys, can you tell me right now? Does the screen get brighter for you? Is it getting brighter, or is it just on my monitor? I'm curious. Did that make it easier for anybody to see? I'm just curious. But yeah, so February went into the April, or it went into the March high. So let's say I'm wrong and we don't have a high, like a highest high here. This should be very, very soon. If we're gonna have a highest high for the year thus far, um, it'll be like very, very soon, like before, probably here. If not, then around the 11th, 12th, 13th. But I think it's probably here on the 6th, 7th, somewhere 6th, 7th, around the 7th. And if I'm wrong, that'll tell me something. It'll tell me that the high for the years is like at the very end of the year and probably even higher in January of 2025. But that'll be a clear indication to me if we don't see a higher price level than this in April. Only thing I did wrong with that vertical call spread I put on yesterday is I didn't buy enough of it. I wanted to make that move like so many Mercury retrogrades, like, and something would always prevent me from getting, like, putting that into effect, or I'd forget. But I remembered this time, and it's looking pretty juicy. It's looking pretty juicy. I spent like $1.28 for a $2 spread times 3. I could have put on a bunch more, but either way, I've got a long call position. I've got a long put position, long call position. The plan is to exit it on Monday. And on Monday, if I follow my Mercury retrograde strategy, then on Monday I would put into effect a vertical put spread with a short leg above 524 or 525.
Hey, Proof. So we see a low slow thus far, still on the 6 for ETH and XRP. Let's try and get through these fast. What the heck? That's weird that that went away. I don't know. I'd be careful here. I'd be careful because it's kind of like right here on the cusp. This one's a little too risky to count on. It's kind of like right here on the cusp after a pretty big move to the downside. So we were all the way up there. We went all the way down like this. But there's also a high, and then there's a higher high, like a highest high thus far on the 7th. So I would probably be betting on. I'd probably be betting to the upside here if I had to choose. We might go lower in the morning tomorrow. Hard to say, but I would probably bet to the upside here. You don't want to chase this rally here on the 7th though. And then Ethereum. Wow. Hmm. I think there's probably a pretty sharp drop here. I would have expected more of a move to the upside at first. There could be some more move to the upside first. It's possible. It's just what a cluster F. This is if I saw it like if you see a really sharp move to the upside very soon like in the morning, that would be a good opportunity to get into a short to close at the end of the day there tomorrow. Um but in the midst of that decline, a more important trade would be to open up a long, which you'd want to close on the 9th. But I do it when we're near lowest low.
All right. Well, so that lowest low, the reading was on point. I had it for here in March, but it definitely looks like it was really here. Right, it's within the lowest low is within close time proximity to the February high, and you can see lowest low, February high, March rally offering opportunity to open up a short. I think this is probably on its way to a high. It's probably on its way to a high. I'm not sure where I have. Why do I have them all the way down here and not here? Seems weird to me because this is for the monthly, not the yearly. I don't actually have lowest lows here. I'm not sure if I did that wrong or not, but these should have been up here. Maybe that one. Oh, hey April, just seeing your question now, but yes, that's an affirmative. We did hit the low for the day. We should be expecting a new high for the month, here on the 8th with like a big pump. Hey AV, hey Angfin. I expected more of a decline here, but that was the decline midday. Started around 1 instead of around 12. But considering that we're all the way up here and we've got this yellow correlation, I think there's a really good chance we see new highs for the new highs period, I should say. Some really crazy whipsaw stuff going on there. Do you think this will be a winning trade? One butterfly SPX 100 weeklies? It looks like it'll do well. Should you cut losses on SHIB? No. You should not cut losses on SHIB. You should hold tight on SHIB. Did you look at the SHIB 1 year? I miss it. So annoying. They need to have a way for you to be able to save this. I hope TradingView is watching again, because I've given you guys a few ideas. I gave you an idea with my old website where you did that news RSS feed, and then hopefully, I don't think it was a coincidence that that thing changed. I think they're watching. So guys, TradingView, here's another freebie for you. Make a way to save the most used ticker so that you don't have to keep scrolling through the list every single time you want to find it. Should be able to save it so that it's pinned to the top. Make people's lives easier. Yeah, see, we didn't hit a high there in SHIB, but there's this trough here. Now, there's a really big move coming in SHIB to the upside. Oh, it's doing it again. They weren't listening. Why is it doing it again? It stopped doing it yesterday. Now it's doing it again. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, we're going to go lower in SHIB, but there's this huge move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range, probably to a high for the year at the very end of the month. We're moving into April, and then we see lows again. It gets kind of wild, but this right here, this is the theme card. I would probably be buying on the way down here. Matter of factly, I might have missed this in the 1 year because this purple line moved. But probably the best trade was to open up a long on the cusp of January, February, and close it at a high in probably in June. And if I'm wrong about that, then it'll be at the very end of the year, but I'm pretty sure probably in June. And let's see what January, February cusp looked like. The January, February cusp was literally like the low for the year, which is often what this little, the small labradorite chip, I should say, indicates. So no, I would not cut losses here. I mean, you just have to like bite the bullet and hang on tight. It's gonna go lower, but this would be a dumb place to exit, to be frank. Like SHIB is gonna do really, really well this year. That abundance card right there, very, very likely a new all-time high in SHIB. So I wouldn't look to exit that. See that up there? That's probably where you should exit. Somewhere in here.
The S&P isn't off by a day. It's we had a lowest low here. I just expected it to see it again in the morning, possibly. But I'm glad that I didn't wait for it, and I took the prudent decision was to exit out of my puts yesterday at a lowest low. It just made more sense because overall I knew the more profitable mindset is to expect a high here on the 8th at this point. And so I was smart to do that. We didn't open as low or lower, but we came close. And sometimes you'll see that it'll be kind of like blended between the 4th and the 5th, and that's sort of what happened there. I think that this is probably going to be a lower low here on the 10th. I don't know why I don't have it up marked as the lowest low, but I think it probably will be. But as of the 8th, I'll want to be like overall short. We might see a high again here, but overall I want to be short. Mercury retrograde ends on the 25th of April, but the cycle of Mercury retrograde doesn't end until the 13th of May. So the influence is most intense around the station, so right around the 1st of April and the 25th of April. But there's still a lot of disruption, and it kind of like peters off as you get closer and closer to the 13th. From the 25th to the 13th, market should probably follow something similar to what it did here. Between here and here. Andrea Liu, can you please give NVDA for next week, or guide on NVDA for next week? I'm going to cut the questions here, though, guys. I'll answer what's on the screen, but no more questions after that are going to be answered. So Robert's question about SPC is the last one I can get to at this point. Hermes, you're so patient. It seems like there's still a lot of interest for NVDA. It might make sense. Ethereum came out because somebody actually ordered Ethereum. But it might make sense if somebody's really interested in it to purchase the monthly before that time runs out pretty soon. And if you just hopped on, guys, don't miss out on this flash sale. Ends on Wednesday. This flash sale has super, super good deals. We have a deal that makes the price of the 1-year readings basically what it used to be, $250 a pop. You have to buy, you'll be buying 4 of those, so you know what I mean? There's some really good deals in there. It's a great way to help support us right now. We could use a little bit of support. Mercury retrograde kind of always hits us that way. Where did it go? Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. That's a little tricky. All right, so that unicursal drop that we see here in early May, it looks like it's taking place in late April. Well, so there's a really big move to the upside here at the end of the month too. I think after this unicursal drop, the strength card is probably a huge move to the upside. But as for here, this looks kind of sidewaysy. Probably a good high on Monday, but overall sidewaysy. And the resistance around the around Wednesday is going to be important resistance. Hey, Kenny. Looks like we see the first half of the half year high next Thursday and start decline to the lowest low in June. Um, are you talking about SPY? I think you're talking about SPY. I don't think I would count on Thursday as the high. I would count on the 8th as the high. We might see it again on the 11th. It might even be higher, but I wouldn't count on it. I would count on the 8th being the high. And if you get opportunity, like if you're looking to open up a short, which I don't advise trading during retrograde, but if you are, going to do it, I would say open up a partial short here on the 8th. And then if you get more opportunity on the 11th, I would add to that short. And what's interesting is this is the high significator for the May cluster kind of appearing here. So I think May is probably significantly lower than April. Well, proof, it's confusing because it's confusing. It's not, if it was clearer, I'd be able to clarify, but it's Mercury retrograde and solar eclipse energy combined. Like we very well could have both of those things take place. You could have a high and a low in both of them for the month. Are you talking about? Yeah, there's some sort of whipsaw. There could be a low on the 11th for XRP as well. it's very possible there's a low on the 11 for XRP as well. But like I said, there's going to be some crazy whipsaw action around this lunar eclipse. Just because it's hard to believe doesn't mean it won't be, you know. Um, I was looking at the wrong chart for theta. For theta, let's see. Ugh, it's doing that annoying thing again. It's so annoying. Oh, I marked that on the wrong chart too. Do you know what chart that was? Because I need to go back and change that mark off. Yeah, the high could very well already be in for the month. Let me see here. Yeah, cause see this high here is like it's on the cusp of March, April. You have to give it two plus or minus 2 weeks of wiggle room, and there might be one here. There might be one here. I don't think this is a high side though, but I am seeing that in a lot of things. So there's a possibility. These are likely locations. When I like circle like that, it means there could be like there's some possibility of it, but it doesn't necessarily like it's not like so strong that I would like necessarily like bet a ton of money on it. This right here was pretty significant. This cross reading congruency in this case here. This was a little tough because there weren't any like direct like cross reading or there weren't any direct correlations between the high card and timeline cards. We have some places where you see like a correlation to a card, but on the timeline wasn't there. So I think this was probably a high here, and we might revisit it here on the 7th, 8th, or on the 11th, 12th. It's a tough one. It's a tough call on that one. I'm sorry, man. It's not easy to read that one. Hey, Joe. How does SPC look end of April? I wonder if I even got to a 2024. I did this, but did it? Yes, I did. Interesting. I don't even remember doing this one. Man, I've done almost 3,000 readings on YouTube. Or I should say 3,000 videos on YouTube. Interesting. So the end of April, it actually looks like there's a pretty big move in the like at the end of April, out of the lowest low thus far. I might have left that out, but a pretty big move to. It's not necessarily like a highest high for the year, but it'll be like a new local high after making new lows, somewhere between April and May. But I think the highest high for I think the highest high for the year might have very well been right here with this labradorite stone, based on what's transpired so far. Well, so my targets are not something that I would trade based on when it comes to price levels, Billy. I'm not sure if you're how new you are or whatnot. Welcome, but ESO meta analysis is designed to predict the timing of chart behavior and highs and lows in relation to themselves, but the actual price levels, like if you try to trade using a trade if you try to trade ESO meta analysis, you don't want to use price levels as entry and exit points. That should just be like estimations of expectation, but you want to avoid utilizing them for trading purposes, because what's more likely going to happen is you're going to be waiting. You'll see the high come in as predicted, but it won't meet the price level that you're waiting for, and the high will come and go, and you'll be waiting for a price level. That's because this isn't technical analysis. This is ESO meta analysis. It's a completely different way of trading. So just be very mindful of that. So your low for Ethereum is 2995, but your low for what time period? Guys, no, there's no longer AV, there's no longer any Apple or Nvidia. I try to like say to mention that as much as possible last month so that people would be aware of it ahead of time. But we're no longer doing Apple and Nvidia on a monthly basis. There's just not enough time. Like I'm still working on May right now. May should have been out on the 1st. I should have been working on June since the 1st. I'm still working on May. I mean, I'm still, like I can't. I just can't do it. I'm sorry to let you guys down in that regard, but like there's a reason why we stopped doing it, and it needs to just stop. I can't do that, buddy. If somebody wants to order one of them, then it makes sense for me to do it. But like I'm literally like a 6-week waiting list just on paid orders. There's literally no time for me to waste
like doing a monthly that's just like slowing me down. You know what I mean? It just can't be done anymore. Maybe when I get a video editor and a bigger team, then we can add some tickers again. But until that time, it's what's on the list. If you go to the website now, those tickers are the ones that you see regularly. All right, guys, but like I said, I was going to stop answering questions after Robert all the way up here with the SPC. So I got to go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. If you don't, watch the video on our YouTube channel. And don't miss out on this flash sale, guys. These are huge, huge promotions. There's 3 different ones. There's a custom monthly 50% off. There's buy 2, get 2 free 2025 readings. And then there's a buy 2025 reading, get a 2026 for free, same ticker. All of these promotions will be gone come Wednesday. So don't forget about that. And thanks to everybody that shows their support. I will see you guys on Monday. Blessings.